With XRP on the rise and it looking like there's going to be another breakout in the near future, I want to talk about selling XRP. In this video, we're going to talk about that exact topic because a very interesting video just went viral in regards to this. In this video, I want to talk about my thoughts about where to sell XRP because the answer might surprise you. Like always, your support means so much to this channel. Thank you to everyone who takes the time to like these videos and subscribe to the channel. These two simple things really do help me out so much. Also, if you ever need a place to buy some XRP, make sure to check out my favorite exchange uphold down in the description of this video. But that said, let's jump right into it, and I hope you guys enjoy the content. I'm going to start out this video and talk about selling XRP, but make sure to stick around to the end because we did get some exciting ETF news that I also want to make sure we cover. Let's start off though and jump into this idea of selling XRP. And I want to start off and really show you where this idea is coming from because a brand new video just went viral in regards to this. And this is actually a girl talking about how she bought XRP at 60 cents in 2020, ultimately sold it only to miss out on what was around the corner. Now, I'm going to save you guys from watching the minute and 17 cents video of her ranting about selling the XRP. I'm sure a lot of you guys could imagine what went into that rant. Pretty much that she got sick of waiting for XRP to go up. Right when she did that, XRP ripped. And now she's saying, I can't believe I got rid of XRP right before the big pump. Now, this is something that might be a little bit more complex than what I'm making it seem right there. Because I want to go over some price charts and really show you why this is a little bit more complex than what it might seem on the surface. A lot of people are not going to be in necessarily the same position as that girl. A lot of people are likely going to be looking to do the other way where XRP goes up and they're looking to take a profit. But one of the things I always like to do and show people is really how they would have handled positions before in the past in terms of where they're sitting now. Now, one of the things that I see a lot of people talking about is specific price targets they plan to sell XRP. And this girl specifically, right? She bought XRP in 2020 at about 60 cents. So let's say she bought XRP right around here during the Ripple SEC case. I don't know exactly where it is. Maybe about here. That's actually 2022. So we'll go back and we'll say 2020, 60 cents was, it looks like it was right here during the flare pump. So she held XRP this entire time, all the way until September of 2024, only to sell XRP before the price appreciation that we're currently going through. Now, what's so interesting about this, in my opinion, is the fact that she's talking about how she held XRP so long and then ultimately sold it and was disappointed because XRP went on the next big pump. But what's so interesting to me is you could have had a lot of people back here saying that same exact thing, right? You could have had someone who bought XRP right here at about 1 cent, right? Back in 2015, only to sell XRP a couple years later at about half a penny in 2017. Only to then have XRP go on an exponential rip upwards, pretty much pricing them out of the market forever in comparison to the XRP they could have owned before. Now, what's so interesting to me, right, is that same exact thing that happened between 2015 and 2016 with some people, or 2017, is the same exact thing that happened to this girl in 2021 all the way till 2025. You're probably wondering, okay, well, what's the point here? Well, the point I'm trying to make is we're likely to see these same patterns developing, right? Just taking a look at the way the XRP price charts move, I think it's very clear that we're going through another exponential rally right now, where XRP is going to make a pretty big move upward, level out at some price significantly higher than it is today, chop sideways for a bit before making its next move parabolically upwards. And people throughout this entire time are going to continue to come in at different places, right? There's going to be a person who makes the same mistake right here. And when XRP levels out again in the future, makes the same mistake right here. People are going to continue to make this mistake of trying to time the market, try to get in and out of these things, try to say, okay, well, things are taking too long, and then quickly get out of XRP. But there's a lot of assets that can tell us a very important lesson about this. And we don't have to look too far to something like Bitcoin to really see why this strategy ultimately never really works that well. If we take a look at the long-term Bitcoin price chart, we can see that Bitcoin has taught a lot of the same lessons, right? People sold Bitcoin right here. People sold Bitcoin right here. People sold Bitcoin across this entire thing. But what's so interesting is the best time to sell Bitcoin, according to the Bitcoin price chart, was pretty much never. Anyone who is ever holding their Bitcoin right now is in a profit. Anyone who sold Bitcoin along the way missed out on a lot of capital appreciation. Great assets assets that are transformational, assets that are ushering a new wave of network effect, a new industry, something brand new to the financial system, those assets are going to continue to appreciate for the foreseeable future. And trying to time the market all the way up, trying to figure out, oh, it's trading sideways for too long, oh, it's about to hit a peak, oh, it's about to drop back down. Historically, when you have a great asset, when you have something that's innovative and new and going to change the way the world works, those assets tend to appreciate for a significant period of time. And trying to time the top of the market, where to get in, where to get out, is historically something that's extremely unsuccessful. Why is that? Well, let's take a really good example of why this is so difficult. Let's take a look at one of the first cycles for Bitcoin back in 2013. You could have said right here in 2013, you know what, this market just topped. We had this big wick, big red candle down, Bitcoin's falling. Oh, I'm going to take my profits. I'm going to get out of Bitcoin. Then what happened? Bitcoin went up again and it started crashing back down. And a lot of these people probably said, okay, well, it's going to come back down even further and I'll just rebuy my Bitcoin when I'm back in a profit and I can accumulate more. But what happened? Bitcoin kept on rising and kept on rising, pricing them out of the market every single day to where they could never even come close to reaccumulating their Bitcoin size. Remember, this is a logarithmic scale. So if you sold your Bitcoin right here at $116 and you were waiting for Bitcoin to come back down to get back in, Bitcoin right here is 3 times higher. Right here, Bitcoin's trading at about $300. So the market never came back to you. And why? Because your thesis on Bitcoin was always correct. Just like the people who bought XRP in 2016 at half a penny, their thesis was always correct for XRP. Their thesis was still correct in 2023. Their thesis is still correct now for XRP in 2025. None of that has changed. The only thing that has changed is the price appreciation of the asset. These theses don't play out overnight. It's not something where, boom, okay, it's realized, now it's off to the next best thing, right? These are multi-generational investments, things that are going to take decades to fully play out. And it's not going to be, hey, this is the price where I'm just done with this, and then I'll just close my eyes and forget about it, and I'll be completely done with this. Maybe for some people, if you're a trader, that's what it will be. But I think the vast majority of people I talk to look at this as something that's going to make a significant change in the financial architecture of the financial system as we know it. And these are things that are going to take decades to fully play out. Does it mean you have to wait decades to take a profit on your XRP? No, absolutely not, and no one's saying that. But the idea that you have some arbitrary price in place where that's going to be the moment you sell your XRP, or that's going to be the moment you get out and then try to get back into the market, the only way that would be the case, right? The only way that would be a winning strategy is if the thesis that you have been thinking about is kind of failing, right? You no longer think that's going to be the thesis anymore. You no longer think this mass adoption is going to take place. You think that, oh, well, you know what? I don't really care about the thesis. I'm just looking to trade the line, right? I'm just looking to make the profit and get out. That can be a strategy, and that's fine. But what's the point of subscribing to the thesis if you're not even going to be in the asset for the thesis to play out? The thesis of XRP has nothing to do with what the price is trading at. We'll see what the price trades at when the thesis is achieved. But not giving yourself time for that thesis to play out, ultimately, you just sell yourself short and you miss out on the true potential of what could have ultimately happened. Take a look at something like Apple stock. To this day, Apple is still appreciating. The thesis is still being realized. And that's an extremely mature company with an extremely mature technology. Yes, there was a huge iPhone boom in 2012. Did that mean Apple was done appreciating? No, absolutely not. Because even though a lot of the very early people who first saw the vision of the iPhone were already up massively and exponentially, there were still so many new people who were just entering the market and just figuring these things out. If XRP is a great asset and this is going to be a great investment, then these things are going to be playing out for decades into the future, as more and more people subscribe to the thesis that we saw extremely early on. This is something that I think a lot of people really get wrong. They try to pin themselves as day traders and they try to get all into these technicals and price targets and where they're going to rebuy. And they totally forget that the one thing they have a huge advantage on with the rest of the market is not their day trading capability. It's with the fact that they see a thesis and they see something with this asset that no one else is able to see yet. And to sell yourself short and not allow that vision to play out and not allow that investment to mature to the thesis that you're expecting, why does an arbitrary number on a price chart change your ultimate vision of what's going to occur? And how is the price going to reach that vision? How is that price going to reach its maturity until the vision fully plays out? It won't. You'll always be leaving something on the table until that vision is right in front of you and tangible. Because until the vast majority of people can see it with their own eyes, they're not going to be able to see the things that we have already been able to carve out and forecast that we believe are possible in this market and in what's coming. And guys, it's only going to get easier for people to see it. As I talked about earlier in the video, we just had the first XRP ETF product approved on the market. Now, this is a top 10 index that includes multiple different cryptocurrencies in it, but XRP is in there. This is going to make it so easy for the XRP spot ETF to be approved. And in my opinion, it's virtually a guarantee that an XRP spot ETF will be the next ETF approved. We already saw a Solana ETF. It only makes sense that XRP is going to be the next one up. There is significantly more interest in the XRP ETF. We've seen a lot more applications out there. Institutions understand that this is going to be something that garners a lot of attention. They understand how big the community is. They're listening to their clients. They know what their clients want. They understand that people want something that makes sense to them. And XRP as an institutional network to facilitate something of utility is something that resonates with a lot of people from an investment perspective. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed this update. And for now, Mickle out.